Oh hey, Jill here, and you're listening to Organized Chaos with Jill. I'm your host and mom of three, and this is the show where we chat all the mom things and then some. So grab your coffee or whatever it is that gets you through the day, and let's get to it. Welcome to episode 16. Before diving in, I want to just say again, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving last week, whether you spent it with friends, family, just relaxing, whatever you did. I hope it was a great day. We missed you, but we are back. So let's dive in. Today, we are tackling a topic that is on everyone's mind this time of year: navigating the holiday season, right? The holidays are like this super magical time, but at the same time, they can also be like a whirlwind of stress, emotions, expectations, chaos, especially for us moms. I think we have that idea that we have to create so much magic and that there's just so many expectations. There's a lot of things that we're checking off our to-do list, making sure everyone and everything is happy and all that. So whether you're feeling super excited for Christmas, whether you're feeling super overwhelmed about the holiday season, a little bit of both, today's episode is hopefully going to kind of help you just navigate through all that and make it as easy as it can be, for lack of a better term. I am somebody that is day after Halloween, Christmas decorations go up. I love the holiday season. It is crazy. It is fun. But I also get in my head of everything needs to be done right that second, right? So it's a blessing and a curse. I love the holidays. And so I'm super, super excited, obviously, but then I kind of stress myself out. So let's talk expectations, because it is so easy to get caught up in this picture perfect holiday scene, right? Like this idea that we have to have the picture perfect holidays. And I mean, we see it on social media. We see it in all the Lifetime and Hallmark Christmas music. Everything is perfect. And as humans, we look at that and it's like, that's what we need to do. And so I'm here to say it's okay if your holiday is not like a Hallmark movie. Don't get me wrong. I love those Hallmark holiday movies just as much as the next guy. But I have seen so much already on social media where people are sharing their Christmas trees and it's like not a ornament out of place, the perfect amount of tinsel, this, that, color themed, everything looks like it could be on the cover of a magazine. And I can assure you that my Christmas tree looks nothing like that. So I think that just starting right off the bat, again, moms, we have this idea that we have to meet all these crazy expectations throughout the holiday season. So I think, what's really important here is to just pause, take a moment, and reflect on what matters to you and your family. And I say this a lot in my episodes of you've got to do what's best for you, what's best for your family in the moment. So for something, this could be holiday traditions that you guys do, spending quality time together, just basic things. It doesn't have to be crazy. I have recently, since having kids, I like to do a holiday craft, and kind of utilize that as a gift for the grandparents and things like that as well. For James's first Christmas, we did the salt dough handprint ornaments. For Williams, we did salt dough footprint ornaments. Last year, I had all three kids. I did their feet on a canvas, but one was a tree, one was a snowman, one was a reindeer, and kind of created a holiday picture. And then actually this year, we just did more salt dough ornaments, but in a Christmas tree format. And each kid, I had them take a fingerprint in a color paint, and that was the lights on the tree. So for us, I guess you would say it's becoming a holiday tradition to do a craft. So maybe that's something that you guys do too. And it's simple, but it works for us. It's something fun that we do. And if you're using them as gifts, that tackles some things off that other list that you might have going on in your head. So I think going along with the expectations is setting a goal for what you want to accomplish. And it could just be, I want to spend time, more time together. It could be, I want to make sure we have a Christmas movie night at least once a week during the holiday season, something like that. Again, does not have to be big. It can be big, but it's something that, again, works for you, works for your family, and meets your expectations. Don't worry about what we think the expectations of others should be this holiday season. And in, my little tip there about setting a goal, it's kind of bringing me to my next point about planning and organizing. You guys know this. I've said it many times. I am a planner. I mean, the title of this podcast is Organized Chaos. I love planning. I love organizing. And I think what's really important to note during the holiday season is that a little bit of planning and organization can really go a long way in reducing the stress of the holidays. So I'm going to share kind of 2 little tips that I think kind of can help plan and organize during the holiday season a little bit. It might not be everything that needs to get done. It might not be perfect, but something to help alleviate some of the stress that we might be putting on ourselves. So my first suggestion is to create a holiday calendar. And this does not have to be a fancy calendar. You can print off like the month of December or whatever from the computer. You can do it on a notebook paper for all I care. Whatever works for you. But on this calendar, just do anything as it pertains to the holidays. So maybe your kids are in school and they have a Christmas pageant or a Christmas concert. Maybe you have a Christmas show you're going to, or an event that's, a work Christmas party. Maybe you're hosting. Whatever it is, put anything related to the holidays on the calendar. And I suggest keeping this separate from your normal calendar because it just focuses on kind of the tasks at hand, right? And you're not looking at the calendar as a whole and, on top of appointments, on top of work, on top of school. And that stress comes back full swing, right? Like you're looking at everything and it's going, oh my God, and we have this, and we have this, and we have this. Not to say you can't put the holiday stuff down on your regular calendar if you have something that everybody sees and obviously can avoid conflicts. But I think looking at the holiday stuff, just the holiday stuff, can help you organize and plan a little bit better for each of the events that might be going on or each of the things that are on that calendar. Which brings me to my next suggestion of making a list. And this is something, it could be a list of gift ideas. It could be your grocery shopping if you're hosting, anything like that. And I think in certain areas that you can have the kids get involved here, I think you should. I've talked a lot about bringing the kids involved in different tasks because it makes them feel included. It helps you out, really. And so I think that it's a good way here where they can help even plan and organize some of the stuff. If you have older kids, maybe there's a dish that they want to help cook or something, and you can have them look at what needs, what ingredients are needed and make the grocery list for that. For us, something we did, it wasn't a list, but the boys are old enough now to really understand a little bit more the gift giving thing and looking for what people like. And they picked out a gift for Anna this year. And it was really exciting to see them going and looking at the different toys and thinking of things that she might like and, see the excitement on their face, knowing that they picked out the gift for her. And so even something like that, if you have younger kids and that's something they can do, it helps to plan and organize, tackle some things off the list, and get them involved and excited for the holiday season as well. And so we're going to move on into the next little segment. After you're planning and organizing and doing all this, I want to remind you guys, take some self-care. I know I have done a Mommy Me Time episode. I've talked about self-care in the past, and it's really, really important all the time, but especially among all the chaos that we find ourselves in during the holidays. And I think especially during this season, we always, as moms, treat ourselves last, right? I think that's fair to say on the day-to-day we come last, but when it's the holiday season and we're really focusing on getting everything done, making sure everybody has what they need, all this stuff, we put ourselves dead last. And I think as cliche as it sounds, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you need to find some self-care among that chaos. And this is something, I've shared before, but it could just be having that cup of coffee in the morning, that extra cup of coffee, a few minutes of just you time to take a breath. Maybe you're doing this time to go back to what I talked about in expectations and just reflect a little bit on what's important this holiday season. It could just be like an extra long hot shower if you have the opportunity to do so, to just clear your mind. It could be a jam session in the car to your favorite Christmas music, whatever, but just take a moment for you and make sure that you're okay through all this chaos and through all the planning and through all the organizing, through all the meeting expectations, through all the stress, but also so that you can be okay to have fun in all the happy moments and the not stressful moments and enjoy the days that you're spending with your loved ones and everything. So, again, super important. And also ask for help if you need to. And I know it is so much easier said than done. Trust me, I am right there with you. I find it very hard sometimes to ask for help when I need it. But during the season, if you do need help, ask for it. Maybe it's something as simple as like, if you host Christmas, say, and you usually cook everything, maybe ask somebody that's coming to bring a side dish. Take one thing off your plate, something like that. It can make a world of difference. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Maybe you need a little bit of time to, wrap some gifts, and it could be asking somebody to take the kids out of the house for a little bit, or to come over and spend some time with them while you're in another room, or maybe you have to go do a few errands. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to. And my last little bit that I have before we wrap today's episode up is to embrace the imperfections. The holiday season is what you make of it. Everything is what you make of it. And I think if we let the imperfections or the things that, don't go according to plan get in the way, it's going to ruin it for everything. And we shouldn't let that. Embrace the chaos and, go with it. I was laughing even, like I said, we made the salt dough Christmas tree ornaments and the kids did like a fingerprint for the lights. And just granted, my kids are young and weren't quite grasping, like putting the finger flat down. They wanted to just like poke holes with their fingers in the paint. And I kind of laughed because some of the ornaments came out a little bit wonkier than others, but it's cute and it's fun. And, we're going to look at them as the years continue to come and as the kids get older and remember that silliness. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, it's not a Hallmark movie. That's okay. It doesn't have to match that social media vibe that we see. Laugh. Maybe you make cookies, you forget the oven's on, you burn the cookies. Laugh about it. It might be frustrating, but just laugh. I always think of like the movie Christmas Vacation and all the chaos there, but you gotta laugh, right? And maybe it's like you have to laugh because if you don't laugh, you'll cry situations, but embrace the chaos. This is something I've said in past episodes as well for different things. Cherish every moment, whether it seems messy or imperfect or silly. These moments that you're going through now is like creating the memories that you're going to have later on during the holidays. And it just makes it that more fun, And again, don't forget to take care of yourself because, again, I'm going to say you can't pour from an empty cup. I know that sounds so silly. Yeah, I don't know. I get it. I get the concept. Okay, I'm going on a little rant here, but yeah, embrace the chaos. Before we sign off, I do want to say, I would love to hear, and I've said this at the end of my traditions episode as well, I would love to hear about your holiday traditions or maybe even your tips and tricks that you have, to during the holidays and to battle the chaos of the holidays because, again, I say it time and time again, I'm not perfect. I'm just a mom. I'm here to share some tips and tricks that I have worked that have worked for me or tips and tricks that I've seen that I really want to implement in my life and I want to share them with you. And so I would love to hear others because you could help me as well. And that's a great thing to do. So, yeah. And stay tuned quickly. I know the episode is essentially over, but before I completely go, I wanted to share the salt dough recipe and craft idea that we made this year. Maybe it's something you can do with your littles. because I have gotten a lot of feedback and people asking about craft ideas. So stay tuned. Okay, so salt dough is super, super easy. It is 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, and about a cup of water, give or take. And what you do is in a bowl, just mix the flour and salt together and slowly add water and kind of mix it until you get like a dough. Basically, it looks like a cookie dough almost. If you add a little too much water and it gets a little bit sticky, you can always add more flour. That's fine. This is not like baking where really measurements need to be like perfect. And once you get that dough, for this particular one we did this year, we made Christmas tree ornaments. So I actually added green food coloring right into the mixture to make the green trees. You can also just leave it white and paint it. I mean, whichever works best for you. But for this particular thing, we made the trees. So you roll it out like you would almost sugar cookies. We got a small Christmas tree cookie cutter and use that to cut the shapes. And then you want to take like a chopstick, or I use the back of a paintbrush, and poke a hole in the top because you're making an ornament. So you want to make sure that you have a place to put a string through the top. And then for the fingerprints, I had each of my 3 kids pick a color. Well, I picked 3 colors and asked them, the boys, which ones they wanted. And then Anna got, drew the short straw. But so we had red, blue, and yellow Christmas lights, and I just put them on, sporadically on the Christmas tree, had them pushed down with the paint on their finger. You can also have them just do their fingerprint and go back and paint, with a paintbrush into the fingerprint. But I just found it a little bit easier to just dip their finger in the paint, honestly, and poke it into the Christmas tree. And then you want to let them dry out. Salt dough needs to get completely dry before you seal it. And so there's a couple of ways to do this. I baked mine for about 2.5 hours at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and it flipped them over a few times throughout just to make sure that, they're getting the circulation. If you have time, you can, leave them out and just let them air dry, but that can take a day or 2 sometimes, depending on like if your house is warmer or colder, whatever. But then once they have dried out, you want to seal them just to preserve it, make sure they last longer. So it's like that Mod Podge, I think that's how you pronounce it. They have a sealant spray, or you could just get the glue you paint on. It's a glue and seal. It dries clear, and just let it dry completely. And then just take a Sharpie, and what I did is like you kind of draw like a little black square above the thumbprint. I hope that I'm making sense the way I'm saying it, to make it look like the light on a light, the light bulb for the Christmas lights. And then just take it and draw like the string across the thing, so it looks like, they're on a string of lights. And then I used like gold and white twine for the string, but you can honestly use ribbon, regular twine, whatever you find fitting. To just tie on to have them hang up. And then on the back of the trees, if you're doing them for gifts, we wrote, love, James, William, and Anna. And on the little tiny bit of the trunk, I wrote the year. You don't have to. You can write whatever you want. But that was kind of what we did for this year's Christmas gifts. Like I said, they make a great little gift. It makes a nice, fun tradition, doing a holiday craft. Keep an ornament for yourself, and you have it, as the kids grow up, they can see their thumbprints and fingerprints and things like that. And again, this salt dough recipe can be used for so many things, so many different ornaments. You don't have to do the fingerprint Christmas tree one. I just wanted to share that because that's what we did this year. But you can also do handprints, footprints, whatever. And it's a fun way to capture their little hands. Be sure to like, follow, and share this podcast. And if you aren't already doing so, follow us on Instagram at Organized Chaos with Jill. We'll have all the latest updates, upcoming episodes, and more. Have a good day.
The best is yet to come.
And fingers and prints. And again, a fun gift idea for family, friends, or the grandparents, parents, whatever. So, that being said, we are concluding today's episode. try again to remember to just stay calm, enjoy it, have a fun holiday season, make the most of it, and we will catch you next week.